What's going on, man? Male Translation family, how y'all feel, man? It's another day. Just wanted to drop a quick message with you guys, man. Check in with y'all, see how y'all feel today. Had something, man, I was talking with a couple of friends of mine about going into tonight's topic. To the podcast is tonight, 8 p.m. I hope all of y'all going to be there. Hope to see all of y'all in the stream. But so here's the thing, right? I was talking to some people about when it comes to relationships, why so many relationships fail and end. And, it dawned on me that a lot of us, both men and women, even and myself at one point, don't really know the why behind why we want what we want in a relationship, right? So it's so many people, and I know, shout out to my single folks out there, as you're going through different situations, a lot of times, you meet people that have demands and standards and things that they want a person to have and what they want out of a person when they meet them. And for the most part, a lot of them don't know why that is what it is. And oftentimes because of that, your standard ends up dropping. Your standard falls. Your standard begins to disappear all of a sudden. And you have certain guys or certain women that are able to kind of make you forget about your standard. And whatever it is that you said you really want out of a person coming in your space and sharing your time, you probably had reasons or things that you said, hey, a person got to meet these requirements. And when that person comes your way, then all of a sudden now your standard disappears. And in my opinion, it's all because you didn't understand the why. So I wanted to kind of just touch on something, man, because I've always said this to people. I said, once you figure out what it is you want and why you want what you want, then at that very moment, you'll be on your way to acquiring and grasping what it is you truly want in a relationship. And the real determining factor in that is that one word, that operative word, why. So when you say as a woman, if you meet a guy and you say, hey, man, a guy's got to be chivalrous, he's got to be able to protect me, provide for me and my family, what is it that you would say is the why? Because just saying that that's what you want isn't enough for some guys to say that that's a reasonable expectation. So if you don't yourself understand why it is that you want a good morning call or text or a checkup call when you get home or when that person gets home to say, hey, I made it safe. Or when you feel like, hey, a guy has to come in and expect to fill a certain role of leadership or be able to be a fixture in your relationship, someone that you can trust. What is the why? What is the why? You have guys that might turn to women and say, hey, listen, man, I need you to be a woman who cooks on a daily basis. Or I need you to be a woman who, takes on the responsibility of, making sure the household is okay, making sure everything around the house is running. What is the why behind that? Because just because you have those demands don't mean that somebody's going to be willing to meet those demands just because you say that's what you want. Like, let me understand you a little bit deeper. And the why allows me to do that. So when you have guys, when you have a lady that you're saying, hey, I want a woman to be respectful. I want her to be a lady. I want her to be, sexy, but not at the same time showing too much. I want her to love me in a certain fashion. The why is super important. And it's the only way that you really going to get a person to understand what it is you want and why it's important to you and why it should be important to them. So I'm just saying, man, a lot of us have or are going through the process of dating, and some of us have missed that why. But the why is what is going to make it happen for you, in my opinion. The why is what's going to make it all understandable for yourself and somebody that come into your life and want to be a part of it. So those things, the why is important. The why you want what you want. Not just I want this, I want that, because it could change. But the why is what's going to determine why it's important for that person to consider it and to act on it. So I just want to drop that quick because a lot of relationships, man, we don't know why. We just want what we want. But oftentimes when we meet somebody, you just get in a relationship, the ball starts rolling. All of a sudden it's 3 months, 9 months, a year down the line. And you saying, well, I want this and I think this and that. And all of a sudden now that person's telling you, man, you want too much. But you got to be able to explain why that is and why it's important for them to understand why it's important. All right. So